Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing good. As you can see on the screen, vitamin K. So you must be thinking, what is this vitamin K? Since in few days we were dealing about hemolytic disorders. So just think, what is the action of vitamin K in hemolytic disorders? So let me tell you, the main function of vitamin K is blood coagulation. It helps the blood in the clotting. Whenever there is cut or injury in your body, so due to the help of this vitamin K, it gets clotted soon and so the bleeding stops. So just think for a second, if there is a deficiency in the body, that is deficiency of vitamin K, what can happen? That means whenever you will have cut or injury, your bleeding will not stop. That can lead to hemorrhage, then shock, and the person may die. So our today's topic is vitamin K deficiency. We'll see the introduction. Vitamin K plays a key role in helping the blood clot, preventing excessive bleeding. So I have already told you that the function of vitamin K is to help in the clotting of the blood. That will inhibit the excessive bleeding whenever there is any cut or injury to a person. So let's see specifically functions. What are the functions of vitamin K? Role of vitamin K in coagulation, that is clotting of the blood. Protects bone from weakening or fracture. So it helps the blood to store the function of the calcium. That means whenever we are taking any calcium products, so due to the help of vitamin K, this calcium gets absorbed in the bone, that strengthens the bone and avoid the fracture, or you can say keeps the person strong. Prevents calcification of blood vessels or heart vessels. That means this calcium should only get stored in the bones, but if this calcium gets flown into the blood vessels and during the flow of the blood, so they can be calcified. That means they get stored in your blood vessels and they will obstruct the blood vessels, that can lead to another heart problem. So this vitamin K helps the calcium not to get calcified, that means not to get stored in the blood vessels. So these are the three main functions of the vitamin K that is serving in the human body. Now we'll see vitamin K deficiency. Vitamin K deficiency bleeding is a bleeding problem that occurs in some newborn during the first few days of life. VKDB, that means vitamin K deficiency disorder, was previously called hemorrhagic disease of the newborn. So you can see this vitamin K deficiency mainly in the newborn, because whenever there is new baby is born, so everything is new for him. So whenever there is this kind of deficiency in a newborn, it can be very dangerous. That means the bleeding won't stop and the new baby may die. So we'll see the etiology. Insufficient dietary intake, inadequate absorption, decreased storage of the vitamin due to liver disease, decreased production in the intestine. So these are the etiology. That means these are the causes that can cause deficiency of vitamin K. That means whenever you are not taking appropriate food that is rich in vitamin K, so due to that, then inadequate absorption, that means body is not absorbing the vitamin K that you are taking, then due to certain liver diseases, and then decreased production in the intestine, that is your intestine is not able to have proper production. Since we all know about vitamin K, but do you know there are mainly three types of the vitamin K? So we'll see here the types. So there are mainly three types of vitamin K, that is vitamin K1, piloquinone, or then we'll see vitamin K2, menaquinones, then vitamin K3, menadiones. So these are the three types of vitamin K: K1, K2, K3. We'll see the first one. What is vitamin K1? That is piloquinone or phytomenadione. It is a natural form of vitamin K that comes from the food, especially green leafy vegetables, but also dairy products and vegetables oil. K1 is considered as a plant form of vitamin K, but it is also produced commercially to treat some conditions associated with excessive bleeding. So your K1 is naturally occurring vitamin K that is found in the green leafy vegetables. Then we'll see the second one, that is vitamin K2, menaquinones. It is made by bacteria, the normal flora in the intestine. Bacteria in the intestine can also convert K1 into K2. Vitamin K2 supplements K1 from the diet to meet the body requirements. Menaquinone is also present in animals' origin food like meat, especially liver, cheese. So here vitamin K2 is produced, or you can say man-made, with the help of the bacteria. Whenever you are taking vitamin K, with the help of these bacteria, the vitamin K can be converted into K2. Then in another form, it can be taken from the animal resources like meat and liver, cheese. So this was the production of the vitamin K. Now we'll see vitamin K3, that is menadione. It is a non-natural man-made chemical compound that is used in some countries as a nutritional supplements because of its vitamin K activity. It is sometimes called K3. Menadione supplements are currently banned in the US because of its potential toxicity in human use. So menadione is a man-made product, and it was used because it has a property of vitamin K. That is, the person who is having vitamin K deficiency, the person can be given this menadione, that is vitamin K3. But due to some of its toxicity, it is banned in the US. Now we'll see the clinical features, that is signs and symptoms when the person is having vitamin K deficiency. So he or she can have easy bruising, that is redness on the skin, oozing from nose or gums, that is little redness, or you can say bleeding. Then excessive bleeding from wounds, punctures and injections or surgical sites, whenever there will be certain cuts, injections or any opening in the skin, so there can be excessive bleeding. Then heavy menstrual periods, that is more than the normal. Bleeding from the gastrointestinal tract, that is inner bleeding, which can be noticed in the urine or stools. Then blood in the urine and stools. Then increased prothrombin time. Prothrombin time is nothing but it shows the normal clotting time of the normal human being. So due to absence of vitamin K or decreased vitamin K, there will be increase in the prothrombin time. Then we will see the diagnostic procedures, how you can diagnose. So as usual, everyone knows history correction to know about the patient past history and present history. Then physical examination mainly will go for the signs and symptoms to be observed in the patient. Then we'll go for the blood test, and that will be testing for prothrombin time, thrombin time, platelet counts, platelet function test, and coagulation factor test to know about the blood coagulation time. Then we'll go for the management. So in the management, the treatment of vitamin K is the drug phytonadione. So this is a specific drug that can be given in the vitamin K deficiency, which is vitamin K1. The dosage of the adult ranges from 1 to 5 milligrams. So this drug dose is 1 to 25 milligrams. Then in infants, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that the newborn get a single shot of 0.5 to 1 milligram of vitamin K1 at birth. So as everyone know, whenever there is a newborn, we give vitamin K injection to a newborn, which will help him to overcome the vitamin K deficiency. So in today's class, we have seen the vitamin K deficiency. Its function, that is main function, is coagulation, helps in the protection of the bone, then prevents calcification. Then we have seen the three types: vitamin K1, K2 and K3. Then we have seen some certain signs and symptoms, that is clinical manifestation, then diagnostic procedures, then management. In that, the specific drug can be given is phytonadione. Then that's all for the today's class. Thank you to all the students.